Diamonds is the 16th episode of the first season of Everybody Loves Raymond. This is directed by Michael Lembeck, and in general, it's a really good episode. It starts off really slowly, but the second half really makes up for the first half. So there will be spoilers from now as I go through various things in the episode that I enjoyed. There's nothing that I hated, but there is one scene that I think went on for far too long. And there's also a style of comedy that's not necessarily my personal taste, but after we get to a certain point, it's just amazing. So there will be spoilers from now. And the main narrative revolves around the fact that Debra received an engagement ring from Raymond back in the day, but she didn't know that it was one that Raymond got from Leon. And this hasn't been a problem for Raymond, but he's just found out that Robert arrested Leon. And Robert's very excited about this. We have this great scene at Frank and Marie's house where Robert comes in with the newspaper and reveals that he arrested Leon. Raymond's over there at the time and realises that the ring he bought Debra is a lot cheaper than he thought. So he decides, instead of confronting her about it, which would have been the most sensible thing, he decides the only thing he can do is steal her engagement ring and go and get the diamond swapped out for something of better quality. We also learned that it's set around Valentine's Day, and Raymond actually proposed on Valentine's Day, so it's a bit of an anniversary for them. That's probably not the best time to be stealing your wife's engagement ring, but nevertheless, this is what Raymond tries to do. And we get this scene where he's trying to remove the ring at night. And this is the scene that just went on for far too long. It was okay to begin with, but it just seemed to last forever, and I didn't really care for it. But it did end in a way that was very entertaining, with Ray waking Debra up and asking her if she wants to play Baker in the Mineshaft. And I found it very amusing that she just said yes. And I was very brave and I Googled it, because I wondered if it was actually a thing, slightly concerned about the results that I would find, but it turns out all of the exact phrase matches were about Everybody Loves Raymond, so I have absolutely no idea. But either way, it wasn't a bad way to end that part of the episode, that scene, but the scene itself, if it had been shorter, it would have been okay, but it just went on for far too long. We then get the scene of Raymond in the bathroom, and we get a lot of physical comedy here, and I think Ray Romano's performance was brilliant, but I'm not a big fan of physical comedy. I don't mind it, but it's not my style of comedy, and because we have a lot of the first half of this episode focusing on that, for me, it just didn't appeal very much. But again, it's not bad as such. The pacing of the bedroom scene definitely, I think, could have been better, but the physical comedy works well. Just not to my personal taste, but I think the scenes thereafter were absolutely brilliant, and it took a direction that I think was very, very unexpected. And Amy comes over, and Debra's trying to find the ring while she's frantically going around the room. Amy and Robert exchange Valentine's gifts, and Amy gets him a tie with guns on, which he absolutely loves, and Robert gets her a present. And if you haven't seen the episode, but you're still listening to me discuss it, I'd say take a moment to try and guess what you think that gift was. And I will now tell you what the gift was. He got her an iguana, because Debra told him that Amy's favourite colour was green. Of course you get somebody an iguana if their favourite colour is green. What else would you get them? It was very, very entertaining, and we don't see the iguana to begin with. We just see the box, and Amy reveals it's an iguana, and they could have gotten away with it without even showing the iguana, but then Robert picks it up and basically thrusts it towards her, and I thought that worked very, very well. The rest of the episode focuses on the ring, and we have this brilliant performance from Patricia Heaton. The range of emotions she displays in the following scene is absolutely incredible, and how she so smoothly goes from crying to hysterically excited to, well, confusion and brewing anger as this scene progresses is just amazing, because she's upset that she's lost the ring. Ray comes over with roses, and she confesses she lost the ring. She can't find the ring, and she's obviously devastated. And then she explains that, and this is the bit that I think was unexpected, she explains to Ray that when she first received the ring, without telling him, she got the stone swapped out, basically to make her parents happy, and she swapped it with the $15,000 diamond from her grandmother's ring. And Ray realizes that he's just tried to get a $15,000 diamond exchanged for one with a much smaller value. And of course, he doesn't tell her the truth. He tries to get it out of the sofa where he planted it. Debra sees it. She's really excited. Again, Patricia Heaton's ability to swap those emotions but making it seem natural is just brilliant. And then she notices the stone and her face just drops. And Heaton's performance here continues to be amazing because even though she's no longer overexcited or crying, her body is still as if she's breathing heavily and is still overcome with all of these emotions. And it's just so, so well done. And obviously, Ray has to be honest at this point about what he's done, and in his defense, now I'm not saying what he did was right. I don't think he should have stolen the ring. But in his defense, Debra wasn't honest about swapping out the stone. And that could have been quite hurtful. To give somebody this engagement ring, it's the best he could afford at the time, and she went behind his back and changed it for something better. I understand why she did it. I don't necessarily think it was right to do it without consulting him. But in his defense, if she'd been honest about that, he wouldn't have had to have been dishonest about stealing the ring. So everybody's in the wrong here. And it's definitely both of their faults to some degree. And then, of course, we have the really, really sweet moment with Ali showing the heart-shaped Valentine she got, and it's just a really nice way to end things off. Also, the costumes in this are gorgeous. We have a lot of red costumes, while Debra's wearing kind of more of a burnt orange, but it looks really great in keeping with that classic Valentine's theme. So I rather enjoyed this. And then we get the rather entertaining ending where they're looking for the diamond, and they find a ring finger rather than a ring. But it was an amusing way to end things. I really enjoyed the episode. Yes, it was very slow in the first couple of scenes, but after we get to the point where Debra's looking for the ring, everything just went up and up in terms of quality from there. Some really great performances, a really unpredictable narrative, and ultimately an episode that I really thoroughly enjoyed.